But if we're gonna do something stronger, I have that almost within arm's reach. So
It's funny. So this is our pre-show for anybody who's never seen our show before. We just sit here and talk. So there's two things that are funny about this. We've talked about alcohol a lot. I don't actually drink anymore. I'll drink once every 6 months, maybe. Uh, I'm 420 friendly because I have arthritis. My mom's arthritis, to be
yeah, I get it.
exact. Like this is my mom's. Like it's funny. My mom's knuckles look a lot
Yeah.
like mine, but her hands are gnarled. Like her hand
Oh,
in a
that's not
resting
cool.
position is kind of like
Yeah.
that. And she has plastic joints all across both of
Oh,
these
no,
knuckles, all
that's not
plastic joints.
fun.
And you can't even tell now. I mean, when she got it done decades ago, you could see the scars and stuff. But now,
Yeah.
since it's been around so long, you can't even tell. So basically, what I'm saying is, I don't actually drink that much anymore, but I do smoke or eat, or eat. That's a better way to say it.
Edibles are way better. Yeah.
They are to a certain extent. I've met many a person who has gone way overboard and they end up in a bad mental space. But that might actually be
Wait,
good because then they stop. Like they stop doing it completely. So I have two different stories about that. But go ahead, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say you gotta know like how much, and you gotta be like, oh, that's way too much, and then you
But
gotta
the
be like, oh, this is a fun time. Yeah.
Okay, well, everything's marked now. Like you go to a dispensary and they'll be like, it's X value. So everything's marked now.
Right.
So it's different. A lot of people never had like a percentage in it. So they would just be like, eat this. And you'd be like, oh, thanks. And then later you'd be like, I'm still hungry. And they eat some more. Okay. And then I'm still
No.
hungry. And they eat some more. So that's how that
No.
happens.
Yeah,
Also,
that's way too much.
yeah, also
Yes.
the strength they're making stuff, insanity. Like
Oh
like
yeah.
four
I
hundred
get
four
it.
hundred milligrams in a single bar, and people are doing the whole bar. And there's a guy I watch. I found him. He's a comedian, and he's been in a lot of movies. But I first saw him on Rogan, and it's Joey Diaz. And he and
Oh, okay.
his
Yeah.
podcasting guy, they did one with a guest, and the guest got so paranoid they just had to leave. They were like, uh, where am I? What's going on? I gotta go. Yeah, I can't be here anymore. Like right in the middle of the podcast. Yep.
Yeah.
Bye, Professor. I'm out.
I get it. And then I would be
So,
like,
yeah.
so, uh,
So that leads me to the experiment. We're going to talk about it later, but last time we started with seltzer, so I might as well just start with the seltzer.
yeah, sure.
This is the seltzer that I bought
Yes.
because we've been
Okay.
drinking, or we talked about seltzer, so I figured I'd keep the
Yeah.
show topic going. So I bought this one. Couple of things. 4% alcohol by volume. That's barely anything. Like, let's be honest.
Right.
4% by volume. Like some of those German beers get up into the 12 and 15%. So like
Yeah,
4%,
I can
not so much.
I just bought like I'll just show you. Hold on.
It's easier that way. Just show it to me. So what's it say on this can? Contains 10% juice. Well, that's impressive. That's as much as all of those juice drinks have, or actually more. Mm. Yep, moonshine with cherries in it.
So, watch this. Old
All right, I'm
Smoky.
watching. Yeah.
It's cherry moonshine, and there's
Yep.
actually cherries in it,
Those
and
cherries will
it's
not go
100
in your
proof,
butt. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, this is
So,
20, 20 times like less powerful. 20
yeah,
more than
what you
20
do
times. 25 times.
is you
25 times more or less powerful. Ugh.
right. You get a cup like this. You
Yeah,
put only two cherries in,
two
and
cherries.
then
I'm with you
you
so far.
put. I like peanut butter whiskey,
Peanut butter whiskey.
70
Got
proof,
it.
and then you just fill it up to the top of the cherries, and then you let it sit for like 2 minutes, and then you
And
sip
then you're
it,
good to go.
and you're good. You're good. Yep.
So there's four
Yeah.
flavors of this lovely drink. And this is the first one I had. It has 113 calories, 4% alcohol by volume, and I think it's like it reminds me of a 10-ounce can. Have you ever drank 10-ounce beers?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yep. Yep.
So weird.
It is weird.
Um, I drank one, and immediately, like less than 10 minutes later, I had a headache. I was like,
I
this
believe
sucks.
it.
I hate these things now.
Yeah.
So I haven't drank any of the other ones. I got it like last week, and my goal was to drink one a day because, like they said, they gave me a headache, and then report like which one was the best, which one was the worst. So this experiment's complete failure. Complete failure.
Right.
Like I had one, and I'm like, I don't want any more. Like, what am I gonna? Okay, now I'm great.
I mean,
Stuck with
it
these.
seems like it would be good. What is that? Pineapple
This one's
banana,
okay.
or is that
Strawberry pineapple, and
okay?
so I tried it. I wanted to see how it was, and it sucked.
You know, I'm thinking all seltzer alcohol, unless you mix it yourself, is just gonna suck.
You know what? I agree. I mean, I never liked Zima, and that's basically what this is.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to say. But the things I do for the show, I was really getting it just for the show. I got it. I was like, I'll suffer through, and then I'll have a story, and we'll go. No, I couldn't even get to a story.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
No.
So this
No.
week, I'm drinking just coffee, iced coffee out of a French press, and I forget the kind. It's some weird. It was on sale at the store, so it was like Peruvian, Jamaican, Hawaiian, Mexican blend. I don't know. It's like I've never had it before, and the coffee's okay. And I put Snickers creamer in it, so people are gonna be
Nice.
like,
Yes.
took perfectly good coffee and ruined it. But
No.
it tastes great now.
Yeah.
The only problem is there is 0% chance I can put this drink down anywhere around me without potential of the whole world
Of it.
being destroyed.
Ooh.
It's like empty. It's like open
Yeah.
electronics everywhere. I can only
Right.
imagine it lands. Half of it pours in one computer, the other splashes on the other computer, and then shoots up and hits all the cameras, all in one.
And that's
swell.
it. You're done. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hey, the show's over for today. Goodbye.
Right.
So then I also have over there. I also have some water in case I need it. It's kind of hot today in here. How's your weather? How have you guys been doing? weather-wise?
It's been like 60s and 70s, so it's been fantastic. It's turning
That is
fall,
fantastic.
so
Yeah.
all the
No, I
all
totally
the
get it.
trees are like turning brown, and it's really nice. And I just don't like winter when it snows and ice.
I don't either.
I mean, that's it.
You see, I grew up with snow though. You didn't grow up with snow though, did you?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I grew up with snow, so I've always dug it. But where I grew up, it was slush. It was ice. It's on the ice belt, so you don't actually get a lot of snow. Snow's cool. Sleet, freezing rain, black ice, not
Sucks.
cool. Not cool. Not cool.
Totally sucks.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to turn my phone ringer off as well.
Oh man, look at that.
I have not done a TikTok in about a week. I don't think I've even checked TikTok in like 3 or 4 days. I actually have a TikTok on my phone ready to go, though. I did something last night.
Nice.
I was going to post it before the show, and I was going to say, hey, look at my new TikTok. And then I ran into technical glitches, so that went out the window. I'll probably post it right after the show. What about you?
That's cool.
Have you been doing normal amount of TikToks, 1 or 2 a day?
Ooh, no. I did.
Ooh, no. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think I did one last night, but I was really lazy. I was going to do like a glitch video, and about halfway through, I just like lost momentum, and I'm like, okay, I'm posting.
So you did a GLI, G-L-I. You didn't finish the whole word. You did a GLI video.
Yes. Yes.
I get that.
So
completely.
it's like a half-ass.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. And then I've been throwing up the whole TP show stuff. So if I don't have something, I'll just put that up.
No, it makes perfect sense. I've been like, here's a TikTok of me telling you to go see another TikTok because I didn't make a TikTok.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So funny. Every week I try to advance the technology. Now, here's a question I had for you. Oh, Jesus. Give me 1 second. I never fixed everything that fell. So when I was, when this fell, when I was working on fixing everything else, and I looked down and I'm like, why is there a light on? Oh yeah, that's the light that dropped, and I just ignored it. So every week I like try to raise the bar a little bit each week, like quality and technically and that kind of stuff. So last week you didn't notice or you didn't say anything, which is good. That means that the transition was smooth. I switched from my GoPro, which is, it's funny. I point right, even though it's actually Like, do you know what I mean?
I
Like, if
got
I
you.
point this
Yeah,
way,
because
that's the
it's
direction
flipped.
it is. If I point towards the direction that it is, I'm pointing to no man's land. Anyway,
Yeah.
switch from the GoPro. That is a Raspberry Pi you're looking at me on. Can you
Nice.
believe it? Yeah, it's the HQ camera going into a Pi Zero and then out the HDMI port over to. Well, I'm on the rice cooker or the egg cooker. Rice cooker. I'm on the egg cooker.
I mean,
Port
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
It cooks.
exactly. And so I've got to make sure it's got airflow. Or you remember that first show? Halfway through, it just sort of like stopped.
Yes.
And it was funny because
That
last week,
that it
go
did.
ahead.
Yeah.
Last week
Yeah,
you were
no.
like,
I just did.
you were
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like your camera froze. Actually, it didn't. What happened was I press a button to start it and I give it a timer and I just put in a random number. Like I just kept adding zeros. And I
Oh,
guess whatever number I put in, we ran out of that amount of time because it's in milliseconds. And it was like 100
yeah.
million milliseconds. And then we ended up talking past 100 million milliseconds. And it did
We do
seem
that.
like the same glitch that we had with the egg cooker. So I understood what you're like, dude, your camera glitched. Well, actually, it worked perfectly fine. It's just we went long. So
Whew, that show. Yeah.
that was crazy.
E-
It's crazy. I enjoyed it.
Even show number 4, it was close to like an hour and like 60 minutes.
That's insane. Well, that'd be 2 hours. I'm not really trying to burst your bubble there, but just letting you know, 60 minutes is
That is true.
an hour.
So I cut it down
Yeah.
to like an hour and 30 just because we had technical difficulties during that show and
Get rid of that crap.
there was
And yeah,
people
that's the
stop
reason we went to
deleting your
Black.
TikToks that we talk about. If we
Right.
talk about you, you're not going to know that we are until
Exactly.
2 weeks later, but
So
don't
first,
delete your TikToks.
first
Yeah.
become mind readers. Like first you have to
Yes.
become a mind reader.
You
Then once
have
you read
to.
our mind and we're using
Yeah.
your TikTok, don't delete it.
Uh-huh.
Just so
Don't
you know.
delete it.
I think from now on
Yeah.
we're just going to have to only show TikToks that we've already downloaded. That way we can't get stuck.
100%.
Yeah. Then the
Yeah.
other thing, so that's all the camera technology. And I've been using it to shoot the moon. Like that's the main reason that I got it. But
Yeah.
then I was like, I'm on a GoPro. I don't really love the GoPro. Let's see what this looks like. And I actually love the way that this Raspberry Pi looks. So
I agree.
now, in the past, I used to reach over and press buttons.
Yeah.
I'm trying to press buttons over
Uh-huh.
on the thing. I transferred
That's an
everything to the
Xbox
control.
controller.
I did.
That is
So-
fantastic.
So I can press a button like it's time for the show to start. And
Yeah.
that would be this button. And then this button's the show
Nice.
to the end. And then this is the main screen because it's X. And then this, I think, let's see what A does. Oh, that shows my other screen. Ooh, that was horrible. I know what B is. B is actually important. Should like
B
and
is
subscribe.
important.
Like,
Yes.
subscribe. Oh, and I wrote this down in the notes. Okay, like, subscribe, or double tap the dislike if you
Yes.
wanna. Just like
Yeah.
zombies. Just like zombies.
Yeah.
Just make sure that zombies and professional assassins double tap. So make sure when you hit that dislike button,
They do.
you double tap.
Yeah.
And that's my major zombie complaint, by the way. That's why I love Zombieland. Every single
Zombieland.
time
Yeah.
he shoots him in the head. That is the biggest
Did you
complaint
see-
I ever have.
Right. Did
Double
you see
tap.
part 2?
No, not yet. I've tried to start it 3 times, and then something's come up every single time.
Oh.
So I'm still got it on the docket. And with my luck, we got rid of whatever channel it was on. Because we had
Oh.
whatever channel it was on, like Stars or HBO or whatever. And we typically get them on sale and then keep it for a month or two and then get rid of it because
I get
they
it.
get pretty expensive.
Yeah. I got my phone and it came with a year of Apple TV. So I was like, yep, cool.
That's exactly what happened with us. We got a new iPad for the house and we got a year of Apple TV. Did you see C yet? SEE?
No.
Okay. When you find C on Apple TV,
Okay.
I will tell you, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Ever. And
Really?
we've got a couple episodes to go. But when you watch it, your mind, just my guess, your mind's going to be like, just right out the side.
All right.
I'm
I
telling you,
wrote it down.
you'll have to watch it and then you'll have to let me know.
Cool.
And here's the thing though, Do you like Aquaman? Meaning Jason Momoa. Because if you don't like him, you're probably going to dislike this. Because he is the
Okay.
main character. But I mean,
All
I
right.
dig Jason Momoa. I think the dude's amazing.
Okay.
So that's B. Come fly with us. And I guess I should press this button now. And
Hold on to your butts, you're in for an experience like no other. You are about to partake in the most bodacious experience ever, the Tick and Professor Show.
show. I think we got a complaint about the end of one of our shows, by the way. You put a glitch at the end, and I was like, wow, that's cool, because I watched all the way to the end of that one. And then I read the comments, and it's like, what's going on with the end of your show? And I was like,
it's awesome.
Funny. Yeah, it was funny.
I throw something funny in all the time. Or if you notice, every new segment, she says show different. So, yeah.
Yep. So I've seen one. Well, obviously, I was there when it was recorded. But I mean, the edited shows. Right. I've seen one. I've seen two. I've seen about half an hour of three. And show 4 just dropped today. So,
it did.
And what's weird is we're recording it today. And I had brought up Watermelon Dan probably around show 4. That was my Carpe Awesome shirt. His 10th anniversary of passing away was yesterday. As crazy as that sounds. Yeah. I was like, whoa, that is too weird.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to have no order when I release, just as quickly as I could get them done, because I want Rex's show to drop before Halloween.
Absolutely.
So,
and thank you for all the work. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. It actually is taken away from like I used to do other things to occupy my time, and now it's like, ooh, I'm actually having fun, even though playing video games is having fun. But still, it's like, ooh, I get to do this. It's like, yeah, it's awesome.
It's so funny when you said, because I have a dark sense of humor, and you were like, yeah, I was doing other stuff, and in my head, like shooting heroin in your eye. Sorry.
No, I've never done that. I mean, is that a quicker high? Because
no. So, well, first of all,
drugs are bad.
Heroin.
Kids.
Let's just start.
Don't
do heroin.
No, never.
I've got a horrible story that will come up in the future. I'm not telling it today, but I have a horrible heroin story for the future.
Yeah, no, don't ever.
We got a different story.
I've never done it. Don't ever do it.
Oh, no, neither, no. No.
Nope.
So, back to the heroin story, though. The reason, first of all, I've got an eye thing, so it's funny that I'm telling this story. The reason they shoot it in your eye is because then you don't get track marks, because basically it's already a hole. So they're basically putting it in a hole. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits you a lot faster, too. But honestly, the whole concept of sticking a needle in your eye makes me twitchy, and I might have to quit the show now. It's time to go. Bye. No, just kidding. Yeah.
All right. I have a list of notes. I got it. I got you guys.
Okay, I was looking over, and I was going to say, where would you like to start? Because I got to grab it and pull it up.
Weekends. And week.
Absolutely.
How was your week?
My week was good. I saw the 100 finale. Literally, that is the series finale. It was the final show of the final season, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what series finale means. But it wasn't one of those series finales where they were halfway through a season and they're like, you're canceled. And they had to figure it out.
Oh, gotcha.
They had a good long run. This was their 7th season, I do believe. And
that's a good run. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved the season finale. Absolutely loved it.
Good.
It was
so
probably not a lot of people
wasn't crappy,
tea, but I dug it.
It didn't just fade to black.
No, it was very. I don't know. It was super happy. It was like
good,
sappy happy at the end. Like kind of like, wow, that's so gross. I'm gonna have to go wash my mouth out now because it's so soapy. Ugh. But it was good. I dug it.
Cool.
What about you? How the kids? How's everything been?
Good. Saturday night, I was putting up more Halloween stuff, and I dropped a hammer, went to pick it up, and threw my back out.
Oh, no. That's horrible.
And it's stupid. It was like, all I did is bend over and pick up a hammer. And when I went up, I went, oh, that was different. That was not. I cannot move.
Back problems. Yeah, I have back problems, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the simplest things will be a huge problem.
I was like, oh my God, I'm just gonna go lie down. Like I'm done. And then I took yesterday
Yes.
off work too, just to like
Well,
lie down.
yeah. So, from every personal torturer, I mean, physical therapist I've ever met, ice, heat, 2020, and then 20 rest. So 20. So 20 minutes ice, 20 minutes heat, and 20 minutes rest. And again, any physical therapist out in the audience, you can correct me. I'm just telling you what my personal torturers in the past have told me.
You know what I did?
What did you do?
Alcohol
Alcohol?
and
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 a face
then
mask to keep
no.
any light from coming in, and I just sort of rest here. No, I did it,
Um,
man.
no,
Did it work?
it was alcohol and ibuprofen
Mm,
and
no, no. Oh
yeah,
God. Oh God.
yeah. So
Not
it was
good.
that, and then me sleeping, and
That's good.
then me actually getting up and like doing some type of fake yoga stretching because I don't know how to do yoga, but
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. And
There's a
then
book we
it
have.
was, I'm sure there is.
Well, no, it's called 3 Minutes to a Better Back, and it's yoga poses. There's like three main yoga poses you do,
Yeah,
and then your back problems pretty much go down to almost nothing. I mean, if you have disc problems or degeneration or stuff like that, it won't help
yeah.
that. But
Yeah,
then
my
there's dope
girlfriend used
stuff.
to like do yoga like all the time, and she's like, "You need to do this," and I'm like, "Ow, ow, ow, I can't."
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I would like do the pose, and I'm like, "All right, I'm done.
Oof.
I just
Yeah.
need to go lay down." And
Yep.
then yeah, took yesterday off, and now I feel like
Feeling 10
90%
better.
better.
Okay.
So
For
I'm good.
everybody in the audience, just letting you know, never ever take Tylenol and alcohol. Just letting you know. The professor's leading you astray with the ibuprofen. It's close enough, in my opinion. The acetaminophen, though, alcohol acetaminophen has been known to cause liver failure in combo. So just be careful, everybody out there. When you said you were
That's
mixing those,
cool.
I was like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Uh
that's
huh.
bad. I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah. No. The it helped with the pain.
Gotcha. So over the weekend, you basically were down for the count.
I
Like,
was down.
man,
Yeah,
that's
but I watched oh, what was that Kevin Smith movie that I told you?
oh yeah, Tusk,
Heroes,
Tusk, or Yoga Hosers. Sorry,
Yoga
Tusk
Hosers,
2, Tusk 2,
Tusk
Yoga
2.
Hosers.
That's I watched that.
I love Yoga Hosers, and I hate it. Although I'll tell you this,
I
I hate Tusk more. So it's kind of like a race to the bottom. Because Kevin Smith films are pretty high in my list of movies I like.
I get it.
He's one of my
Yes,
favorite film creators. He's from Jersey. I'm from
Dogma was
Philly.
amazing,
Oh
and
yeah,
Chasing Amy was awesome, and yeah,
yeah,
we just can go down the list.
yes. And I've seen him live. I think. Well, I've seen his live shows. I've seen all of his live shows. Oh, that's what it was. I was supposed to go see him live, and then this little thing called the pandemic happened. So I've never actually seen him live and in person, but I feel like I know the dude based on how much stuff he's done. And he's got like 50 million podcasts. Speaking of
Right,
podcasts.
of course.
So that's insane. That's totally crazy. Now, what was your takeaway on Tusk 2? I mean, Yoga Hosier's.
I felt like it was trying a little too hard,
Okay.
and like maybe if I was Canadian, I would understand it a little more.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is funny. I think
And
I don't think it's a Canadian thing. It's a weird film, straight up. It's
it
just a
just
weird
seemed
film.
like it was like if I was gonna watch like Scott Pilgrim on drugs.
Yes, yes, that's a great way to describe it. Actually, I love Scott Pilgrim.
I
The
do too.
graphics on that are amazing. I think that's
Yes.
what sells it for me is the graphic novel style because it's very.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a I mean, of a manga or a comic.
Of course.
I was about to say
Yeah.
cartoon, but it doesn't remind me of cartoons. Dude, that's insane. Oh,
So yeah,
I,
I
I
was doing
took
that.
all I took all of Sunday off my phone. Like I didn't not go on
You did.
social. I just didn't pick up my phone at all. I left it
I
like
get
on a
it.
shelf or something the entire day. It's weird too how many times you're like, I got to go check my phone. Oh yeah, I'm not checking my phone today. It helped me a lot though. Like have you taken any days off the phone? Like there's two kinds of days off the phone. One, it's broken and or it went to the shop,
Right.
and I don't really count those because every minute you're just sitting there counting the seconds until you get the phone. I'm talking about a intentional, I'm not using my phone today, and you just put it down.
Right. So like whenever I go on a vacation,
Yeah.
I leave my phone like on the bed table and I'm like, I don't care. It is what it is.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, yeah. Too funny. Okay. What's next on the hit parade? You've got a note. Notes.
Let's see. You did not no TikToks, no social.
Nope.
You already did that.
Yeah, I'm horrible.
And you already went through. I really don't drink anymore because of my joints.
My joints. Yeah.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, man. I drank that seltzer.
Yeah.
And there's 2 or 3 drinks that do this. Coffee, oddly enough, is one of them. I literally feel it like in my joint, the seltzer. Like it's like glub.
I get
glub,
it.
Ow, glub, ow, glub, ow. By the time I get to the bottom, my hand's like, okay, this is your new hand style. You should be good. Move about your day. That's why that peanut butter whiskey sounds interesting.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but get Screwball. I mean, this one's really good. This squirrel one is good.
Better.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the difference between night and day. This thing doesn't have like, or it's the difference between like a Skippy and like a store brand.
Got it. That makes
peanut butter.
A lot of sense.
So
that totally makes sense.
Screwball, you can take a sip, and as soon as it hits your lips, you're like, that's peanut butter. Oh my God. And then you're like, so I only need to drink what I poured. I'm done. Right. After what I poured, I'm not going back for any more. I need to, because it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said that, immediately what popped into my head was the store brand, like the low budget store brand cereals. And I was going to ask, did the other brand pour it in like a plastic bag?
One's like, I think Screwball is like barrel aged for like a certain amount of time. This one is just like, I don't know. It says whiskey with natural flavoring and caramel color.
Yeah, so they pretty much put it in a 55 gallon drum, and then they poured some like food coloring and like some additives, mixed it around real quick, hit it with a magic wand, and poured it in something.
Like Screwball is normally like $27. This was only like 18. So
it's funny because when Fireball came out and everybody's like, nobody's going to buy that. And then it became hugely popular.
Right.
Every company ripped them off. So everybody had a cinnamon whiskey after that. And then they started going crazy with flavors. Like when I was a kid, whiskey was whiskey. You got whiskey. You got whiskey. There wasn't like, let me think. Honey whiskey, lime whiskey, peanut butter whiskey. I'm trying to think of all the whiskeys.
I even have a peach pecan.
Peach pecan whiskey.
It is so freaking good.
But
it's like dessert. I most of the time I'm just like, kids are asleep. Yep. I'm going to like edit or play video games, and I'm only gonna pour like, I don't know, not even like one shot, and just like sip on it while I do it, and then I sleep good. Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. I totally and completely understand that. Now, do I have to cue something up? Is it time to cue stuff, or are we still discussing?
We can.
You're right. Make this car go. Kick.
Okay. What is Tide Pod Kid?
Okay. So Tide Pod Kid is the modern version of what happened with my mom's pills. Remember we were talking about my mom having arthritis?
Uh-huh.
The hilariousness of this is when I was 4, I used to have to open all of her meds for her. All of them.
Oh.
So she would get like 4 or 5 arthritis medicines, and she'd be like, yeah, it's in a childproof cap. I can't open it. Hey, 4-year-old, open this for me. And I'd be like, pink, twink, here you go. So that's what they're doing with Tide Pod. Tide Pod, the actual container, is childproof.
Uh-huh.
Like now you need to do the secret to get the Tide Pod lid off. And I was watching a commercial, and that was the selling point. Your kids might eat these Tide Pods because they're cool looking. So we're going to Tide Pod proof the box. And we can hope that the 4-year-old can't figure it out. Like I said.
Do you know what I tell my kids?
My mom. No, what do you tell your kids?
I'm like, these are Tide Pods. You don't want to eat them. You could die. They're like, I'm not going to touch that. They're like,
I've met so many kids that when you would say that to them, they would look at you and go, oh, and walk away and be like, what does die mean? And then they come back later and be like, let's find out. Pop. I'm just telling you.
No,
sometimes discouraging is an encouraging thing.
Because I've already ruined my kids to be like, I will show them things like say Tide Pod. And I would be like, here, this is what happens when you eat these. And it's like someone foaming at the mouth and stuff. And I'm like, so if you don't want that to happen to you, I love you. And I don't want that to happen to you. So don't do it. So now whenever they come close to chemicals, they're like, oh my gosh, Dad, is this okay? It got on my fingers. And I'm like, yeah, we'll just wash your hands. We're good. So.
It burns. It burns.
Right? Yes.
Now, did anybody in your family ever drink bleach or household chemicals? Like, did you ever have that experience growing up? Yeah, my sister, I wasn't born yet, but I always hear that story. Basically, I'm a lot younger than my sisters, so I always got the stories like, your sister got into the cabinet with all the chemicals and just started drinking bleach and some other stuff, and they had to get her stomach pumped, the whole 9 yards. That's another interesting thing, too. When I was a kid, I always thought that everything had to come out. Like, so if you ate something and it was bad for you, they would pump your stomach and get it out of there. And then as I got older, I was like, okay, we got to go get their stomach pumped. And people were like, no, not for this one. This one, we give them charcoal and they have to pass it. I'm like, oh, God, that sounds
too much
so
alcohol.
much worse.
Yeah.
So much worse. Oh,
yeah.
Got to pass it.
There was some pills for like charcoal pills if you drink too much so you don't have the hangover the next day, but I've never tried them because I don't drink that much.
Okay, so that might be what we were at a store. I think it was a bodega or something, but they had like Dr. Weirdo Guy. I don't know the actual name, but it was a lot like an Alka-Seltzer. It was a little packet you opened and you poured it in some water, and it was a magical hangover tonic.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa. I think we bought it and never used it. Same kind of thing. Like it was, oh, we should use it.
If I was that drunk to be like, oh, wow, I know I'm going to regret that, I'd probably just throw it up because that's what happens when I drink too much anyways.
Yeah, that's
absolutely. And if something gross and you're already that drunk, you're like, oh, nope, that's coming up.
Oh, no, absolutely. That's exactly what happens to me. Like 1,000% what happens to me. Like that's, I think, one of the main reasons I don't like drinking too is because I can only drink a certain amount. Except my brain thinks that you should drink until either the box is over, the beer is over, the bottle's over. So like my brain's just like, you're a quitter. Stop quitting. Keep going. And the next thing you know, I'm in the bathroom hugging the porcelain, calling to the porcelain god. It's the worst. I hate it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. That's why I've cut down quite a lot. I used to drink out, but got away from it.
Mm-mm.
So far.
I mean, I could talk about alcohol and be like, I like this, I like that, I like that. And then here I am, like, if I have like 2 beers, I'm like, oh, I'm sleeping.
Right. But at least you know that. No. And also, it doesn't become as expensive. Because mine was always expensive because I was like, well, I could keep going. And then you do. And then you don't have any the next day. So it was kind of a lose-lose situation. Lose everywhere.
No, let's see. What is next? Let's see. You know, when I had my iPhone 6, it only had a 4-digit passcode. Yeah. Now the new thing is 6.
It's the worst.
I'm like,
they've got thumbprints too. Does the SE have thumbprints or no?
Oh yeah.
Because the thumbprint's way easier.
It does.
Way easier.
It's so much easier, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's see.
There we go.
Let's go to something that I put on there.
Sounds great.
Oh. Let's do, what do you think of my new segment? The TikToker of the Week.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
Because we should show that TikTok if you have it.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Let me click on the link.
I'm actually watching you do that on the docs. I can see you moving and clicking through my cell phone.
Oh,
It's
yeah. It's weird, isn't it? When you use Google
Yeah,
Docs and multiple people are on it, it's like ghosts. Like, what's going
yeah.
on
I was
with
like,
this?
what the hell?
It is now that time in the show where we react to your TikTok videos. If you would like us to react to your videos, please email us at tpshow@gmx.com. Oh my god, you to stop fooling around, you have reactions to do.
Yeah, just that was freaking awesome.
For everybody
So for you guys
Yeah.
in
You do it.
podcast land,
Yep.
she does stop motion artwork on herself. So it's her acting out scenes, and she draws everything and does it freaking amazing. And
So
what is her name?
It's Fempots. FEMME
Yes.
_POTS. So what she did was she basically revealed that inside of her upper chest was a city. And the way that she did that
Right.
was she basically faux cut
Tore
open,
off her skin.
Yeah, tore off her skin to show what was underneath. And it was funny because it was super creepy. I was like, once I figured out what was happening at first, I thought she was putting stencils on. Because have you
Right.
ever done like a temporary tattoo? That's what I thought it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
at first. So I'm like, oh, she's doing a temporary tattoo. And then the next thing I know, like she's ripping her skin. And I was like, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to let her play in the background. And
Sure.
we can just talk over top. And
Cool, yeah.
hear what she's doing. But yeah,
Because she showed up on my For You page, and I was like, instant follow. And then
Yes.
I was like, we have to do like a TikToker of the week. I don't even know like anything about her other than I watched all like 30 of her TikToks, and it's all the same amazing thing.
Dude, I love consistency and awesome. Yeah, this is amazing.
Right. And I'm like, I think she cracked the TikTok code of doing one thing and doing it consistently and doing it very well. And that's why she came on the scene not too long ago, and she's already at like 40,000 people. And it's just going to keep on growing and growing and growing.
She's very, very talented. And that is the formula for TikTok. Basically, if you find a niche and you make that niche and you do it over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Now it's time for some really scary stuff with a new segment called The Crazy Ghost Hunting Shit the Professor did. Like he has real proof and stuff.
I kind of
The video speaks for itself. Yeah.
Okay. So here it is. Now I'm watching yours. Yep, there we go. So you popped up the screen. Where's the skull? I'm watching.
It's in the back by the fake candle that I have, and it just, dude. I even zoom it in. Look how. It just.
Welcome
I don't
to our
know.
show. Stuff's flying off shelves.
Right? It just, yeah. Right.
I hope I didn't break that.
And I didn't even flinch. Like, I'm sure that made some sound. I just have one ear in with my headphones so I could hear if kids are coming down.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know
either. I threw it on a loop, so it'll just play in the background.
That's cool. Yeah. Oof. So it's on a shelf, top shelf.
Sitting there.
And it's just sitting there. It's been there for like 45 minutes.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden,
it flies the hell off.
It just flies off.
That's insane, dude.
It's just
When you
like,
sent it to me,
uh,
I
yeah,
was like, I don't see what you're talking about. Because I thought you were talking
right.
about up in the corner over here. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about a
no,
shadow. I thought there was a
yeah.
shadow, and I didn't see the
No,
actual skull just
no,
go
but
flying off the shelf.
it,
So hilarious.
but the only thing that I could think of is it was up against the wall. I'm in the basement. It was a Dollar Tree like skull, so it's like super light.
Yep.
And someone was walking around upstairs, and it just joggled
Just
it, and
flew.
it
The
just
other
flew.
thing is heating and cooling vents. I've seen people who put things in a certain spot, and then when the cooling or the heating comes on, it like gets
Yeah,
blown over,
that could be.
and they're like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
look
I
what's going
don't
on
think
down here."
the only thing is like you see the ledge that's like
Yeah.
up there, like the bar that
Yes.
goes through. The heating and cooling vent is on the other side of that.
Right. So 0% chance that that theory is right. It could always be that
Zero.
a spirit's at your house, just chilling
I mean that
as we
too,
speak.
but
That's so
I
funny
mean,
though. On every level, that's so funny.
yeah, and it's interesting to see how like everything changes from week to week, like in my background too, because I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
I just, yeah,
Mine doesn't change obviously that much because I set up the studio to use for TikToks and
right,
stuff. The main thing for me though is my camera consistently changes. And so I was hoping that last week you weren't like, dude, this looks like crap this week. What's going on? And you didn't say anything because I hadn't said
no,
anything. So I was like, woo, got away with it. No, I like Raspberry Pi cameras, but the version 1
yeah,
and the
I
version
get it.
2, they're camera phone cameras. And when you look at them, you're like, yeah, that looks like a camera phone. This one does not. This looks like a real deal, honest to goodness, some kind of like digital real deal camera. So
Right.
that is insane. Now, how did you see
It
it?
just,
Were you just editing and all of a sudden you're like, oh
I
my
was
God,
just
look at that in the
editing.
background?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you notice in the video, like I didn't even like flench or was like, what the hell
No.
just happened? It was just like
And I
I
didn't
didn't
see it
even know.
either. But then again,
Right,
I can't really watch your screen and then be engaged at the same time.
right. I get
So
it. But
that's
yeah,
oof,
it's the years of me like just watching like a room with nobody in it
to see
of
if anything
video when
moves.
I go
Yep.
ghost hunting, and yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what it
Oof.
is. I spotted it in the background. I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome.
That is
And
awesome.
I'm gonna make a video where I have like the X Files theme, like right when it comes off, like dun-dun-dun-dun.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's what's gonna happen on TikTok. So
I
yeah,
cannot
and
wait.
then be like, you got to watch the whole show. So
Otherwise, you're going to miss stuff. I'm waiting for
you're
people to
gonna
tell
miss.
us that are in our shows, like tell us stuff that happens because we're
Right.
talking to each other and that's pretty much what we're doing. We're not paying attention to like possible stuff
No.
flying around in the background like you found.
Right.
So that's just hilarious.
Let's go from one creepy thing to
The
another.
next. Sounds good.
Let's go to the Whaley House in San Diego.
So is that
You have all that.
picture one or is that
No. So let's go to Whaley House, and I'll actually like
Whaley House?
describe it a little bit.
Perfect? Okay. In there, we've got a series of images. Whaley House
Yep.
image.
It's
Got
called
it.
Whaley House 1.
Took me a second. There
You're
we go.
good. So this is like the oldest house in San Diego, California.
Wow.
And it was a courthouse, and there used to be a tree in the front where they did
no.
a lot of hangings.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Was it the hanging
Like
tree?
oh yeah, this was like 1600s. This was like one of the first houses, a ranch that was in San Diego when there was nothing around. And it was the courthouse, that second story balcony. That was a theater. So that's where the townspeople would come and watch like opera or like a little play that goes on. And
That's
then
amazing.
the family, the Whaleys, actually lived there too. So there's like 4 rooms where they actually lived at that time.
Wow.
And yeah, there was the husband was not a good dude and killed his wife, like pushed
Not a
her
good
out
dude.
the second story window.
Okay, just to be clear,
Yeah.
are you saying that people that kill other people are not nice? Okay, wait a sec. I'm trying to understand this. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. No, the way you said it about him, that's why I was laughing. He's not a nice dude. He took his
He's
wife,
not a
he
nice
threw her
dude.
off the
Yep.
balcony. Is that what
Yep.
he did? He threw her off the balcony? Or
Oh
like
yeah,
did his
100%. He like,
woof.
I'm sure we're gonna get people that actually know the story better than me, but I took the tour and
Yep.
I was like, this is what I heard. So
This is the way I remember
Yeah.
it. It's close enough.
this is the way I remember it. It was like 10 years ago. So,
Yep.
Man.
Man.
And then, so what happened was I was part of a ghost hunting team,
Yes.
which consisted of my father-in-law and my
Okay.
aunt.
Oh,
And we
wow.
were called Family First Paranormal. And
That's cool.
it was freaking awesome. It was some of the funnest times of my life. We would just go and find things that were like known haunted, and we would be like, hey, what can we do to investigate this place? And then we bought all the good equipment for that was around like 10 years ago.
Right.
So from there, we spent 5 hours in that house, just us.
Whoa.
And I went
Now-
through hours and hours of video.
Now I have a
Because you're
question for you,
talking.
because
Yeah, go ahead.
is this the family? Because you.
That's the family.
Yeah, I think we should.
So
put that
we
picture up
have
there.
we have on the left, that's Mrs. Whaley,
Got it.
and that's Mr. Whaley, and then their 2 kids.
So
We have
Mr.
Mr.
Whaley over
Yep.
on the left,
Yep,
Mr. Whaley on the right, and the 2 kids in the middle.
yep. So take a good look at Mrs. Whaley because
I-
she's still in that house. She like really like look at her, and I
Yes.
have proof that she's still in that house with the next photos that we have.
Oh,
So
excited.
go to photo called "Found Behind Bed."
Found behind bed. Coming up. Found behind bed.
You just want to do "Found by Bed" edit. There you go. So I took this photo.
Yep.
And I took it with a flash on, which you can see the reflection of the flash. But look underneath that reflection of the flash.
It's. Are you talking about in this top? Oops, sorry. Top right corner. Like
Right behind the
where
bed.
red is?
Pillows.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
There's
see
like
it.
a
I see
chair
it.
and a
Yep,
pillow.
I see it. Yep.
And then
Super creepy.
go to the
Yep.
image called number 1.
Okay.
Because this is it unedited, and I just blew up that photo of that little tiny spot.
Got it.
And it's
There we go.
she's there. She's right there. You can make out a full
Whoa. I can see her face in the white. Like,
face. You can
so-
see what she was wearing. You can
Okay, so what I see
Yeah.
is there's a red bubble, like a
Yep.
like
An
a
orb.
soap bubble almost. Yeah, an orb.
Yeah.
On the right side, and then if you track across that ledge, because there's a to the left, there's like a ledge. It leads to a face, and that face is surprising in the fact that it looks a lot like the last picture that we were looking at, for sure. That's insane.
So go to let's just I did a couple edits of this, so go to one edited
Yep, you got it.
where I took it into Photoshop and just like made it brighter,
There we go.
played with the contrast, and you can definitely now see
Yeah, you can see
an outline of a face. You can see where her hair is. You can see that she
Yes.
was wearing some old time outfit.
Yep. Yep.
And like I said, it was just me, my father-in-law, and my aunt in the house. Like that's not a reflection. That's not. There's.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
go to 1-2, and that's the final edit that I did of it.
There's 1-2.
And yeah,
That is simply crazy.
holy crap, right?
Yeah, and if we're gonna go by that being something, the face and everything,
Something. Yes.
if you look in the shadows on the right,
Uh-huh.
so above the orb, so if you go straight
Yes.
up from the orb,
Uh-huh.
you could also infer that that's somebody like standing near her or by her or
Right.
behind her. or
Maybe the
something.
husband.
Yeah, that's the direction I was going for sure.
Yep.
Man, Creepy.
So
I would have been out of there
that
like so fast.
so go. So here's another angle in that room. Go to number 2.
You got it. This one?
She's sitting in a rocking chair.
Oh,
Just
I see
look.
it now. I see it now. So if you're looking at this image at home, it's hard to see because it's only in the corner of our thing. But I have
Yep.
it pretty big on my screen. Basically, where
Yeah.
the chair is, if you were to shift to the right a little and right above the
Yep.
chair, like exactly where you would sit in the chair, but off by about a foot. And if you follow the white line by the chair and go straight up, you'll see a face. I
Yep.
see it. That's insane. And you know what I see too? I don't know what it is. At first I thought it was a hammer. So if you look at the sewing machine, there's a white line on the right-hand
Yep.
side. Oh, you know what it is? I see what it is. That's just that's a light reflection that leads into the jewelry box. Okay. Oof.
Yeah.
I thought there was something.
Yeah. So you can go to 3 and 4, whatever ones you want to do. It's just another edit of the
Number
same
3.
photo. Yeah, like it's just
You can see
darker.
the face for sure. And
But
what's
you
funny
can
is
see
in
the
this one, I can see her hand. And
yes.
you know what? I'm going to say it's somebody on a cell phone. I'm just saying. Just saying. Somebody was on a cell phone. Just saying. It does. It looks like somebody
Oh
on
my
a cell
god!
phone.
Yeah. Now go to 4 again. Go
You
to
got it.
number 4.
And there's number 4.
See, so yeah,
Whoa. That's just creepy time.
and go back to the family so you can see her again, and then just be like, yeah,
Yes.
this
Yep,
is definitely
Sorry.
wow.
Those are the audios that are in there. Sorry about that.
Yes, those are, and you're gonna hear her voice too.
There we go.
So look,
Doing that.
that's her sitting in the freaking chair.
I
Like
agree. That
That-
face is
that's-
very similar. Like
her
honestly,
behind.
when I first
Yeah.
saw it, I was like, this seems like a person's reflection. And I've
Right.
seen photography where I can pick up somebody behind me, in front of
Right,
me,
yes.
because of the way reflections work and everything. But the face shape, like,
Yep.
the face shape's a little too similar. Like, if your
Yeah,
aunt
and
looked
like
exactly
how
like
she
that,
parted her hair
maybe.
and everything. Yeah, like
Yep.
you. I
The
don't
one
know.
thing for me, though, with the image is that she's in a profile. So
Yes.
her hair isn't as easy to tell, to be quite honest, because this is about a 3/4 shot. But
Yeah.
this is how
So-
she looked in those other ones to me, or almost like that.
So if you see, what gets me is you see the part in her hair at the front. How there's like
Yes.
it looks
Yes.
like an inch of like no hair. If you go
Yes.
back to the one where she's sitting in the chair, you see
Yep.
an inch of no hair.
Yeah, let me get back to that. So when we do these in the future, if you're going to have to label them
Okay,
in
number 2.
order. No. What I mean is, like, you want to show the family image first.
Yeah.
So it would be 0 - family. And then
Gotcha.
and then 1, and then I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because there's some
Sure.
videos or some audio stuff in here as well that I should
That
have
will
taken
play
to
it.
another folder. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my fault. So we're going back to 1. And
Yeah. We can go to like number 2. Yeah, see there's 1. You can tell
There's
that
2.
it's period. And then go
And you
to
can see the part.
like you just flip through them all. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
And then
This
look,
one
you can
definitely see it. You can see
Right.
it on this one for sure.
Yep.
But I'm telling you right now, man, I would have to see what your aunt looks like and what kind of cell phone she had that day, because that totally looks like somebody on a cell phone. I'm just saying, it's the right part, well, the left part.
Yeah.
Her right hand is basically
Yep.
like right here in the image. And
So
I'm like,
I was thinking that was like the back of like the rocking chair, that she was not that the rocking chair's there, but the
Yep.
rocking chair is somewhere where that we can't, whatever she's sitting on.
yes,
Like that's
I can buy into
the top
that.
of the rocking
And
chair.
the reason I say that is because we are seeing a reflection from the other chair. But
Yeah.
if the rocking chair was in the corner, I could totally buy into that. Like, that's where she would be for sure.
Right.
I could. Get
I'm
that.
saying
I
it's
see
a
that.
ghost rocking chair too.
Right. No,
that's what I'm going at.
Well, the thing about it is that literally the rocking chair would occupy the same space as the chair and the sewing
Yep.
machine. And
Yes.
so the interesting thing is, with these historical sites, they try to make the room the way it was originally. So it would be
Right.
interesting to ask them, like, was this room ever configured with a rocking chair in the corner?
Right
Like,
here.
did they ever
Yeah.
have it like that? Wow, that's insane.
And see, at the time of the investigation, I didn't see any of this. I was just like, eh. Like, I
It's
know
like
we
the
caught
skull. It's like the skull
right.
on the shelf. You didn't see
And
it
it's
when
like
you did it.
I know we caught some stuff because I listened to like the EVPs that we're about to hear in real time. Like I was
Got it.
actually like listening to those and I'm like, oh my God, something's here. And then I just started
Something's
like
going on.
flashing photos wherever I could. I'm like, does it work with flash? Does it not work with flash? Should I take it in like night vision? Should I not? Like,
Right.
yeah. And
Now, which
I
one
came
should we
back,
listen to?
whatever one you want to
EVP
listen
1?
to.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
go with 1 because it's the one.
Hello.
Sorry, I got to get the volume.
It's okay. So you're gonna hear me talk, and then you hear like someone in the background going. Ah!
Okay.
Now,
so this is EVP 1,
even more.
and I think I have the volume.
Hello. 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 Now.
Whoa. It played twice, and it's like, hello? And in the background, I heard exactly what you're talking about. There's some kind of wailing or
maybe it's even
something.
one of her kids. Like, that's still
that.
anything.
Oof. Going to 7. See if I can get
Do
the
it.
volume right on this.
It's like we interrupted a conversation. Now enhanced even more.
Okay, don't do it again because I had to change the volume.
Now enhanced even more.
Dude, I could hear it. Now here's the question for you. Were you guys the only one in that house?
That's it.
Or
It was
there other
just
people?
It was just us three. That was it.
That's crazy. Because it definitely sounds like stuff going on. Now you have to understand, I've done so many lives in this back room, and
Yeah.
when there's sounds outside, it picks up no problem at all.
Right, of course.
So that's why I'm like, I wonder if there was somebody outside. You know what I mean? But I was thinking more in the house. If somebody had been in the house in another area, I could have bought into it.
Yes.
But if there was nobody else in the house, and that looks like a fairly remote location. I mean, I'm in the city, so we get helicopter sounds. And,
it's like Old Town San Diego, and yes,
Right.
there is. It's like restaurants around and stuff. But once you're in the house, like you're in the house, you can't hear what's going on outside. Like
no, I get
and
that.
to couple it with like the photos that we saw, like.
Oh yeah, definitely. They go hand in hand for sure.
Right. And it's not like I'm showing you like here's a round circle and I'm calling that a ghost. I'm not doing that.
I get that.
I'm not saying here's a moth. Yeah.
Certain cameras that I own, I have a real problem taking a decent picture when the lighting is certain ways. It just won't take a picture. And I blame the lighting. So I often I'm skeptical of certain things for sure because I have done a ton of long exposure photography. So I've made ghosts super easy to do. So that's why I'm a bit skeptical of some of this stuff. And that's why I said, I'd love to have seen a picture of your aunt and her cell phone that day. Because I literally am like, that totally looks like some lady with a cell phone.
Right.
So we're going to listen to the last of the 3 audios. Let's see what it...
I don't get anything from him but a lot of anger.
Same clip, enhanced even more. See? They told us to get out of here. You can hear that.
See, to me, it sounds like a jail yard fight. Like I would have left.
I would
have been out of there. But it sounded like more than one person in some kind of scuffle. Like that's what I
Yeah,
hear in the
because
background.
you can hear that. That's my aunt, and she was listening
Oh
to the
yeah.
same audio, and she's like, all I'm getting is like a lot of anger. Like it's sounding like a lot of
Yes.
anger.
That's why I
And
said
I'm like,
prison riot. Yeah, that's what it
right.
reminded me of.
But
Super pretty audio,
yeah,
for sure.
Yep. And so whenever like anybody's like, "Hey, do you believe in ghosts?" I'm like, I've not with my own eyes. I've never seen anything with my own eyes. Like I've never, but I've caught things. I
That's
mean,
funny.
I would love to. Like that was part of the reason like why we started it, because we're like,
Yeah.
we want to see what's out there, and
Right.
we want to see something with our own eyes, not just like on camera, not
Yeah.
on audio. Like I want
I've-
something in front of me to like appear.
Right. I totally
that-
believe in ghosts every day of the week. I just actively try to avoid them. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I'm the opposite of you. Like you're like, hey,
Right.
let's go see what they're going to do. And I'm like, hey, let's get
Yes.
away quickly, fast.
I get it.
On the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'd be like, I'm going down this hallway. You're going to get the
To get a
car.
sandwich,
So in case
a burger.
if anything is like creepy,
Oh, it'll be
scary,
running.
I'm running.
It'll be
Yeah.
running outside. You can meet me. I'm next to the chainsaws. Have you seen that ad, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay, you haven't seen the ad then. So it's a Progressive ad or a Geico. It's probably a Geico ad. And the voiceover says, by the way, we're not getting paid by Geico. We should, but we're not.
We should. Yeah.
So the
that'd be
voiceover,
cool.
the voiceover says, if you're in a horror movie, you make bad decisions. And
Oh, I
these
think I
four
have seen
people-
that. Yeah.
Yeah. These four people are standing there, and the one girl goes, we should get in the car that's running right over there. And they're like, that's a dumb idea. And somebody else goes, we should go to the basement over there. And they're like, that's another dumb idea. And then the third guy goes, oh, we should stand behind the chainsaws right over there. There's like all these chainsaws hanging. And all of them go, yeah, that's a great idea. And then the voiceover comes on. When you're in a horror movie, you make bad decisions.
Right.
That's why I said,
Yeah.
I'll be in the car outside with it running. Please don't go to the chainsaws. Hop in the car and we'll drive away.
Yep. Because for me, I think I would like want to see something. And then the moment that I did, it would probably scare me so much that I'm running with you. I mean, maybe even faster than you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But until that moment, I'm walking towards it.
Yeah.
I am the bravest guy. If I have a camera, I'm looking through the camera. That's why I'm not scared.
Right. Well, you're totally out of luck if it's a vampire. It won't show up. So that, I'm just saying, that would be hilarious. You're like walking up, you're like looking in the screen and you don't see it, and then you bump right in. What's going on? And you pull it away, and there's a vampire, like right in your face. Like, and then you'd be like, I know what I would do. I would just put the camera back in front of me and just stand there and go, "Oof, he's gone." Even if it was fake, it would just make my brain feel better. Like, oh, he ran away. Oh, good, I'm safe.
I'm walking out. Yeah. Ooh.
Back away slowly, looking through the thing. Like, he's not following me. He can't follow me.
Right?
I don't see him. That's too funny.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
I'm looking through the notes. Oh, let's do Rick gets hit.
You got
and
it.
this is sad. This is sad.
Sorry. I was all like, yeah, let's do this. You're like,
no,
it's
this
sad.
is sad.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm not happy. Video
I'm not
currently
happy.
unavailable.
Oh, that sucks.
We were talking about this. I'm going to have to start grabbing these because I do the same thing. I throw them up. I have a feeling that somebody was like, dude, you shouldn't be showing yourself get hit.
Right. Because what happened was, no, Rick Moranis, someone came up. He was just crossing the street. Someone came up and sucker punched him and then walked away.
We need to talk about this. I wish that we had the video. So if somebody finds that video, tell.
I'm sure you
could
could just Google it and then put it up on the screen. Yeah.
Do that.
Because I was like, nobody should hit Rick Moranis and just walk away.
Definitely not.
Like,
well, first of all, hitting Rick Moranis is a problem. Like, I always like that dude, and he's like super laid back. So, like, if you're gonna hit somebody, go after a Van Damme. You know what I mean? Somebody that's gonna
100%.
at least hit you back.
Yes. Steven Seagal. Go hit that guy.
Exactly. Go hit Steven Seagal.
Yes.
So, let me see. Do. TMZ. Dun, dun, dun,
yep.
dun, dun,
that works.
So
you heard it here first. like thousandth.
Come
Yeah.
on. Keep
We
doing
stay
that.
up on current events here on the TP show. Rick Moranis getting hit.
Don't get
And
your
then
news anywhere else.
No, it's at least 4 weeks late.
At least 4 leaks current. Give me a second. There it is.
You're good.
I was like, come on already. Come on already.
Yes.
So the video's on the screen.
He was in New York City.
He's in New York City. And the dude's wearing an I Love New York
I love New York
sweatshirt.
City. Yep.
Yep. So in the video, there's a dude just walking down the street, and I guess that's Rick Moranis who's been fuzzed out, which is weird. Okay, we need to talk about this before we even talk about this. The reason you fuzz somebody out is because you don't want to show them. So it's like, hey, here's Rick Moranis, and we're gonna fuzz him out.
Yeah. Why?
Already.
Yeah.
But so this guy walks by Rick Moranis and just wails on him.
Yeah.
Totally wails on him, and then just keeps walking. And what's weird about it is, like I said, they fuzzed out Rick Moranis.
Yes.
But
the dude that hit him is not fuzzed out, and he's just like,
Yeah. And they're trying to find him. Like, where do we find this guy? Well, the other thing that's weird about it, too, is this guy has no math skills. He's an idiot.
Right.
Like, you're going to commit a crime. First of all, you're in a really recognizable hoodie. Don't wear, like, I Love New York. Wear, like, blank. Second, tips for you idiots that are going to go out and do this moronic crap. Just letting you know. Secondly, wear your mask correctly. I can see your nose. I can see your eye.
Yes.
And at the beginning, it was on his face normal. Now it's not. It's like, oh, I want to get caught, which would be good.
Right.
Please catch this moron.
100%. I just don't understand, especially like.
Oh,
he's
you're not
a dude
from Philly,
that.
Though. Yeah, you're not from Philly. No. Okay. One of my friends from high school two of my friends went to art school, and Fitz went to Temple University. No. Where did he go? Because I have two different friends that went to two different art schools. One went to Tyler, which is Temple's art school. That was stud. And then Fitz went, I want to say Philadelphia's art school, Art Institute. That might be it.
Okay.
Anyway.
There's one in every city.
Yeah. The thing about it, though, this is back in the 90s. And I asked him, like, what was it like living in Philly? He said randomly every 6 months when they would go out to the bars, a guy would come up and whale him in the back of the head. Like it was a game. Like it would be like punch a dude. So people would come running by and whack people in the head and then keep running. It was common. And jump forward 10, 12, 15 years, all of a sudden there's this YouTube trend of people doing that.
I remember
I'm
that.
Not sure if, yeah. And so I was like, this isn't a trend. This is so 1990s. And now we see it with Rick Moranis. It's a thing. I don't get it. Randomly hitting people on the street. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like zero.
No, because here's a guy that went, I just want to raise a family. So I'm going to retire. I've done everything that I need to do. I'm on the top. I just want to just do me. And like, if I want to wake up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon every day, I'm going to do that because I earned it. I'm just going to spend time with my kids, my wife. I've done enough. And
then he's
that's
walking
it.
Down the street and somebody randomly whacks him in the head.
Randomly hits him.
That's insane. That's just
and he was just in a cell phone ad with Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. The Mint. Again, we're not sponsored. But
no.
Okay. Two things. First of all, I've seen that ad, oddly.
Yeah.
And do you know anything about that situation? Yes, no, maybe so?
Nope.
Like, Mint, the company, is actually owned by Ryan Reynolds.
By Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Interest in Mint. Secondly, that ad's hilarious. For anybody who hasn't seen it, Rick Moranis walks on screen, and Ryan Reynolds, is it Ryan Reynolds? Yeah, it is. He goes, Rick Moranis, everybody. And Rick Moranis goes, okay, what do you want me to do? He goes, oh, we just wanted you in the video. We just wanted you in our ad. He's like, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to talk about it? Talk about Mint? What do you? He's like, no, We just really like you. We're really glad that you
Yeah.
made it. I was like, that's hilarious. So good. So good. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, and then for someone to just sucker punch him and then walk
That's-
away like nothing, like
bull pokey.
which sucks because it's like, okay, what did that guy do in his life to just be like, I'm gonna hit him, and then like 1 second later, like I'm just walking down the street as a normal person. Like,
Yeah,
how
there's some
screwed
kind of,
up is that dude's life? Like,
yeah, that guy's got some anger issues. Because to me,
Yeah.
the reason that I always ask Fitz, like, when was it? What time? Usually he said it was after the bars. So it would be like 2:00 in Philly. So between 2 and 3:00, people would just randomly come by and hit other people. That
I would never go
understand
outside at that time.
Exactly.
No.
That part of it made sense because all the guys are getting out of a bar. They're hammered, they're bored, and they
Yep.
come up with stupid game. Okay, you punch that guy. Okay, you punch that guy. Whoever punches the guy first wins. You know what I mean? Some bullshit like that. But
Yeah.
it's the middle of the day. Like,
Right.
it looked like maybe 1 or 2. Like, it didn't make any
Right.
sense.
Like,
I
he
mean-
just ate lunch at a restaurant or something, and he's like, people really don't know who I am anymore, so
Right.
I'm just a
Well-
dude walking down the street.
Yeah, I'm a random. I'm a
Yeah.
random. Like, the only reason that I'm not a random was I was in a whole bunch of famous movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
The thing about
But
it,
he
though,
looks,
is
he's like a grandpa.
Exactly. But he
Like-
didn't. The other thing, though, is he didn't interact. Like, I could have bought it for a half a second if we see the one guy walking, we see the other guy walking, they turn, they talk for a second, and then wham.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay. Some words were said, something wasn't
Right.
kosher. But it was not like that. It was just like two people walking towards each other, and then when the dude gets close, he kind of swoops in, wham.
Right.
I'm like, what's that all about?
Like,
That's
I mean,
insanity.
I get it if he was like, honey, I blew up the kids, suck. And he's like, no, it didn't. And then,
Exactly.
pop.
Exactly.
But there was none of that.
But it would have
Yeah.
been the other way around. You know what I mean? It
Right.
would have been Moranis take him out. He's picking on my movie. You can't picking
Right.
on my movie. So,
Yeah.
jumping on to the next thing. This is a TikTok of me. Let me see.
It is.
wanted to give you an idea if you're going to a protest, because it seems like manhandling American citizens.
I don't even like this TikTok. I'll tell you what I said. I don't even like it. I'm only bringing it up because of the comment. So in this
Yeah.
TikTok, it was about a month or 2 ago, and everybody was going to protests. And I like the protests, but I'm sick of the violence. It's the same thing we were just
Right.
talking about. It's random violence.
Well,
Go ahead.
you know, I'm all for protest if it's done right. Like, every Martin Luther King speech, like when they did a protest, like, it changed things. It made things happen. People recognized it. There was hardly any violence that you hear about, and like, it changed things.
Yes,
Now it's just like,
absolutely.
I can't even describe it. It's like,
You see, I have to agree and disagree because the way that they did the Gandhi thing, we will not be violent even if they're violent. And
Right.
there was a ton of violence during the Martin Luther King walks. I mean, it's not the violence from the people walking, it's the
Right.
violence of the people that got in their face, the police. It was just
100%.
nasty.
Yes.
In these situations, the same kind of thing was starting to happen, or it still is happening everywhere, where peaceful protest is going, and then a disruptive group or
Yep.
a disruptive force attacks them. No apparent reason. Same kind of Moranis thing, just like random
Yep.
bam, and then everything goes sideways. So the TikTok was a direct reaction to that, because I remember
I
back
get it.
when I was a kid and the gay plague, which is the only thing that I can equate that's similar to what's happening with COVID. And why I say that is when the gay plague started, all of the Republicans and people that were conservative were like, that's cool. Like, but it's not going to bother us. And they would not do
Yeah.
anything to help anyone at all. So you had this whole group of people that was marginalized and were dying and nobody knew anything. Funny enough, I was watching a video the other day and guess who was on it? Oh, do I have the video? Damn it. Give me a second. Let me see if I have it.
Tell me it was Rick Moranis.
No, it wasn't, but it's still good.
Okay.
You're gonna like what I find when I find it.
I'm sure I am.
Okay, I have it, but I can't find it. Again, disorganized
Okay.
today. So you're gonna have
That's
to play
fine.
it. It's called Stump the Professor. So I'm gonna leave a couple of seconds for the Stump the Professor music.
Yeah, no.
was
If we're
gonna
just
play it
quiet
live.
for like 1 second, then yeah,
Yep.
we're good.
Let me get that off the screen.
Because you're gonna
And we're
ask me
quiet.
questions that I'm.
I am. So we were talking about. Now I've completely lost it. Talking about Rick Moranis. We were talking
Yes.
about
Protests.
protests, and okay. So
Protests.
1980s,
Yes.
the gay plague, otherwise known as AIDS.
I was born 82, so just
So
so
you were
you know,
well into your sexual peak at the age of 4.
100%.
Anyway.
I knew all about it.
All about it. So I'm watching this video, and a famous person, let me put a disclaimer on it. Pandemic famous person came on the screen, and I was like, I know that dude. I see that dude a lot. Okay, so that is the setup. Now you get to guess, and as with all the guesses, you get 3 guesses, and if you want, you can turn a guess into a question. So, go. Who was this person?
Movie star? TV?
No. Okay, first question. Movie star or TV? Absolutely not. And I will tell you, they are a scientist. And I do believe, and they are a doctor. Doctor and a scientist.
Did they win the Nobel Peace Prize?
That's a great question. The answer to that question, I do not know.
I mean, you're
Maybe.
like, hey, I'm not only
know.
a doctor, I'm a scientist, and
Exactly.
I work on my. Oh, was he an astronaut?
No.
Okay,
No.
Buzz is out. Bummer.
Okay, so you have to at least guess once. I gave you the extra question, the not an astronaut, but you've asked 2 questions, so now you have to make at least one guess. He's a doctor.
One guess.
Pandemic
He's a doctor.
famous. Yes, pandemic famous. When I say it, you'll be like, oh, duh, I get it.
Is it Dr. Drew?
Oh, very good guess. But Dr. Drew's not pandemic famous. He's regular famous or reality show famous. Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci came on the screen. It was Dr. Fauci in the 80s telling you, hey, wear a condom. Hey, wear a mask. You don't want to die? Wear a condom. You don't want to die? Wear a mask. So
sometimes I wear a mask, sometimes I don't wear a mask.
Yeah. And I guess, just as a side note, number 45 has contracted COVID-19. Chris Christie has contracted COVID-19. Kaylee McKinney, whatever her name is, contracted COVID-19. Melania, COVID-19.
Yeah.
What they said was they had a rally meeting, and no one was allowed to wear masks. So everybody showed up with COVID, and everybody left with COVID.
Yeah, you get it. Mm-hmm.
Now, back to the video I just showed.
Wouldn't that have been great if they were like, yeah, we passed around the bong and we just got it?
Yeah, we all got sick. What were we thinking? That was the dumbest idea ever.
It's the Oval Office. We just had to get high here, so we just passed it around, and God, we all got it.
We all got sick.
It was good kush too.
If we only knew. Sterilize the needle.
I didn't inhale though.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't inhale. I just
no. So that was the lead up. The lead up was the gay plague and these riots. And in my head, I was like, you know what? You're going to get a bloody nose at this event anyway. So just put some blood on your nose. Either real or fake. Doesn't matter. Go to this.
So I guess in that case too, for your friend, if he's leaving the bar around 1, he could just always go, ow, and just walk down the street like, ow, oh, ow.
Yeah, because they don't want to get. He already got it once. We're not going to get him again.
Yeah,
he's clearly been hit by one of the posse. The rest of the posse will not get any points. So
Rick Moranis, if you were listening to this, you just needed to fake an injury, and
You would've been
then
fine.
you'd have been fine. I'm sorry that
So
you got hit.
normal.
Just fake an injury next time. Someone comes up to you, you just go, "Oh, my back."
I'm already hurt.
Yeah.
Don't hurt me more.
Right?
So anyway, back to that stupid TikTok I made. I said
Yes.
in that TikTok was go to these like protests with a bloody nose, and when the cops get manhandly, because what I noticed was the cops and the riot police were getting very manhandly. They were grabbing people and throwing them. And I said, just scream. Just had an AIDS test and my nose is bleeding. Grab away.
Right.
Because I'm like, you got to figure out a way to deter these guys, and they're not going to want AIDS, and they're going to just jump back. And you did not threaten them technically because you said, I had an AIDS test. You didn't say you have AIDS. And you're just warning them. I got a bloody nose. I'm just warning you. I don't want you to get hurt. So that was the TikTok. The only reason we're talking about this TikTok is because of the comment that somebody made. Somebody put on there, and it was weird too, because this is an older TikTok. This isn't from like a week or two. This is from 3 months ago. Somebody came on and goes, "Are you a teacher?" And my answer was no. I was like, that's such a random thing.
Right,
I'm like, no,
of course.
except for Flow Shop. Like I teach people the thing I do.
Yes,
I'm not a board certified, trained, go to school, teach kids teacher. In fact, I'm not a huge fan of children. Just saying. So I was like, why are they asking me? And I'm like, no. Then they come back and go, oh, because you look just like my English teacher. And I'm like, oh. This is a common
You have a
thread in my
doppelganger
life.
out there.
Yeah. I've been doppelganged. In fact, my partner literally yesterday showed me a dude that she showed it to me, and I'm like, I don't remember making this TikTok. I don't even remember wearing a kilt. What the hell? I mean, it looked just like me. And then maybe about every 2-3 months, somebody sends me a thing and like, is this you in this picture? Is this you in this video? And I'm like, no, doppelganger, no, doppelganger. And in a future episode, we'll talk about an actual doppelganger I had. But back to this. So then I reply back to this girl, boy, man, woman. I'm not sure exactly. I reply back to them. In fact, I'm so bad in English, I got a 23% for an entire semester, like an entire marking period. Like, we're not talking about like on a test. We're not talking about on a quiz. We're talking cumulatively for 3 solid months. I only got a 23%. That was it. The only saving grace for me was that teacher retired. She retired. I got a new teacher, and I got like a 75 or an 80, another 75 or an 80, and then I got a 75 or 80 on the final. And I actually ended up passing that class. But a 23% is pretty ridiculous. I'm just telling you, kids, it's really low if you don't know what grades are and you've never gone to school, which is like, I don't know, 0% of the population. But yeah, it was insane. And so we were going back and forth. And then I go, I got a 23%. There's no way that I would be an English teacher. The person replied back, oh, I'm really good in English. That was the part that got me. They were like, oh, I get good grades in English. Well,
You're
good
like,
for you. I wish I had.
You're 14 and you're legal age to be on this app.
Exactly.
Let's do a feel good story after.
Yeah, after that horrible nonsense, all the bloody, gory stuff. So what's the next one?
It's actually called Filled Good Vid.
I see it.
It's right below yours. Yes. And this totally is like one of those videos where I followed the whole family because every single thing that they do is so positive and so uplifting.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to get into it. Make the audio go.
What? What's this place?
I thought we were going to go to Sam's Club and get some stuff for...
Movies?
No, it's Sam's Club.
Oh, it doesn't seem like it.
What does it seem like?
Movies.
We're going to go to the movies to see your movie.
Popcorn.
Is that what you smell?
Yes, you said Sam's Club.
I can't fool you, huh?
I'm smarter as an average bear.
You are smarter than the average bear.
Like Yogi Bear.
Yeah, okay, hold on. What?
What's this place?
That was awesome.
I thought we were going to go to Sam's Club and get some stuff.
That was awesome. So people that are watching this, clearly this is a kid that has some kind of issue.
Yes.
I was going to guess like Down syndrome, but that doesn't seem right
Maybe.
now that I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's something. He has some type of, yeah.
And his mom, I think the mom's trying to trick him. I mean,
Right.
that was my guess.
100%. Yeah.
So the mom's like, hey, we're at Sam's Club. No, we're not. We're at a movie theater. No, we're at Sam's Club. No, we're not. I smell popcorn. That was awesome.
What gets me is he's like, I'm smart. I'm smarter than the average bear. And I was like, oh my God, you got me.
Yep.
You got me.
And he's wearing a Scooby-Doo shirt too.
Yes.
It's so awesome. Yes. So I agree.
I went into, I forget the name of this account, but
Pinkerton Boys.
I went in.
Yeah, Pinkerton Boys Adventures is what it says on the screen.
So the Pinkerton Boys,
Yes.
they all have some, besides one that I've just observing, has some type of a physical issue or something. And they're the most coolest people. Like,
that's awesome.
They're all like just so happy and so uplifting, and every single TikTok is as happy as this. And I'm like, this is what TikTok needs. This stuff
I agree.
is what TikTok needs, because it's not only it's showing that people are human.
Yep.
People are, even if you have something going on in your life, you can stop and watch this 15-second video and you instantly are like, my day is great. Everything's fantastic. Like, this is the best. And all their vids are like that. I spent like a good 20 minutes going through, and I was just like, afterwards, I was like, wow, I feel great. This is awesome. And they never ask for money. They never say, my boys can't, or anything like that. They're always uplifting. And those to me are normal people. If everybody acted like this kid, we would be in a better society, better place, and the world would be awesome.
I totally agree. I was going to say, as soon as she said happy, I had flashbacks of happy, because that's what would happen is that I'd be working with guys like this and they'd be in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
And then happy would come along.
Oh, no.
And so one of the guys I worked with, his name was JT. So the normal morning crew was me, Happy, and JT. Well, JT and Happy used to always like get into it. Like,
clash.
Happy was just mad at me. Like, I never really fought with Happy. I don't think I ever got upset with him. Like, no matter what he did, I was like cool with it. But that was not true of Happy and JT. Like, JT's like, come on, man, get on the ball. And Happy's like, get off my back. So whenever I hear happy, and then I see a video like this, I'm automatically back in college, like working with these guys.
Yep.
And
I get it.
It's so funny that he brought up that he's smarter than the average bear.
Average bear.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
It is. That was definitely feel good. Definitely feel good.
And I just like I think everybody is equal, like no matter what. Yeah. Like you can have every single freaking disease on this planet. I'm treating you as like you're my best friend, and that's just how it should be with everybody. That's brilliant. I see a couple comments going through their TikToks that irritated me, and I'm like, oh, like why? And I look and I'm like, oh, you're only 8, so you haven't experienced. Like, I get it. And
it's funny.
The cool thing about this family is that they don't respond to stuff like that. They just
ignore it. That's the best way to handle it.
I don't even know if they even see the comments. They're just
they might not.
Out there doing what they're doing. And it is so fantastic.
I unfortunately don't think that I could work again. Well, knock on wood. That's the kiss of death.
With Happy.
Yeah, no, I'd love to work with Happy. He just doesn't want to work with me. It was just, I don't know. I don't think I could work. My partner has worked with people that have physical and mental disabilities her entire life.
Yeah.
Her aunt actually was a foster parent for like 50 plus kids. I definitely could not like handle that. My brain would just be like,
I get it.
I can barely handle myself, let alone being around anybody else. So it's just crazy
I get it.
to me. But no,
Have you ever?
I am like you though as well. I'm not like, oh, that guy. Like everybody's equal to me.
Right.
They're not. There's no
Yeah.
difference. My major malfunction though is that I get overwhelmed. Like when I was working with the guys, it
I
was
get it.
fine because we all had a job to do and stuff. But like
Right.
if the job is to entertain and have fun and do stuff like that, I would get overwhelmed. I don't know why. I just know that I would. I'd be like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?
No, I get it. Did you ever see the movie with Johnny Knoxville, The Ringer?
Yes. Yes. Where he fakes it to become.
He fakes it, and
Yep.
the paraplegic like
Olympics.
world champion Olympics thing, and then he actually falls in love with these guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I love
It's a
that movie.
fantastic movie.
What's
I do
weird
too.
is that is a real thing. There's a percentage,
Right.
and I forget what the number is. It's a lot higher than I wanted it to be. Like if somebody had said like 1% cheat, and they're not actually physically or mentally handicapped, and they show up
Right.
to these things and they dominate, but it's
Yeah.
not that low. It's like way, way higher, like 10% or something stupid. And when I heard that, I got mad. I got mad.
I would too. Yeah.
You're taking advantage, and I'm not cool with that at all.
100%. I mean, most of those people that do it are way more physically fit than I am. They could outrun me, outjump me, outswim me, whatever it is. Yeah.
I will tell you, that was the number one thing that I had to be careful about, is that nobody ever got violent with me, except the guy that smashed plates, but he wasn't getting violent with me.
Yeah.
He was just getting violent. But one of the guys I worked with did not know his own strength at all. So he would like go to like shake my hand, and somebody had taught him that like a firm handshake is important. And I swear, my hand almost got snapped.
I've had a handshake like that. Yeah.
Oh, and my joints. Luckily, I was a kid, but like, I'm my mother's son. I have literally taken to I can't shake your hand. Now that the pandemic is here, I'm in a good spot.
Right.
But for a year, I was literally walking up to people, and I'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'd put my hand out, and they'd shake it. And the rest of the day, I'm like, "Oh, my hand. Oh, my hand. Oh, my hand."
Yeah.
So I stopped shaking hands, and people are like, "Oh, okay, you don't want to shake my hand." I'm like, "No, dude, I don't want to be in pain all day," which led me to a story with my mom. My mom is the one that started the no handshaking thing, but she told me to stop her. So we would go places, and my mom would do the same thing. My mom would hold her hand out, and these guys would shake her hand, and then all day her hand would be in pain. So whenever we would go out in recent years, I literally looked like a goalie. The guy would walk up to my mom would walk up, and then I would jump between the two of them and be like, "Mom, you can't shake their hand." And my mom, it was so funny. My mom would go, "Oh yeah," after she was like this close to getting her hand crushed in a vice, because that's what it feels like. But yeah,
I get
insanity.
Just
and
fist
you do
bump.
not want to pick. Fist bump. Although I have to admit, that's been detrimental as well, because some people think that's full on whale. Like I literally,
that sucks.
I went like this,
Yeah, no.
and I had a dude like wind up, and I was like, "Ow, I'm a wuss."
Yeah, no, that's not
wuss.
cool.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I've seen people now do elbows where they're like, "Yeah," and you touch elbows.
My favorite is
a little weird.
What happens with Fallon and Timberlake. So Justin Timberlake was on, is it The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon? I think that's right. And Justin Timberlake went like that at the same time that Jimmy Fallon went like that. So it was like this. And Timberlake is just like, really? So funny. Sorry. And then that became their handshake. It was like that.
Yeah.
So, which actually, I guess that's gonna get ready for karate thing going on there.
I don't know. I thought you just said namaste.
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 No patchouli.
Where are you going? Nowhere. Namaste.
No patchouli zone. No patchouli zone. I do not like patchouli, which is funny because one of my nicknames is Plague. And do you know where they use patchouli? I've already led the hook, by the way. During the plague, patchouli became the reason patchouli exists is because of all the dead bodies. They would literally use it to cover the smell of death. And to me, it smells like death. So,
I don't know why, but my mind, it totally jumped subjects and it went, you haven't watched the last half of number 4, right?
no,
Episode 4 that we did?
Not yet.
Okay, because I had Rosie, when we were doing the TV stuff, she's like, oh, you want me to read this? Okay. Well, the boys are going to talk about their top 5 TV shows, and then I'm sure they're going to get distracted, and you're not even going to hear all the TV shows.
We're just going to skip one because Rich doesn't know how to run a show. We just ramble for hours. So
then she's like,
next week.
oh, another game? You really want me to read this? Okay.
Next week.
Yes.
Why am I reading
She's
this?
the
You're
most
never going to get to it.
person.
That's so funny. So this week, for news, I was watching the news.
Yeah.
And apparently, I didn't know this, in Ireland, if you're bred, there's no tax. If you're not bred, there's a tax. And the way they determine what bread is based on the sugar count. Yeah. Did you actually see this article before I threw it into the notes by any chance? Okay.
Mm-mm.
So Subway sued the Irish government
to
to say, we are bread, because they were getting taxed. So people are coming and buying Subway sandwiches, and they had to pay tax in Ireland because the bread was actually not bread. So it goes all the way to the Irish Supreme Court, and the Irish Supreme Court says Subway is not bread. And that was the news story. Subway is not bread. They have approximately 10% sugar in their bread, so they're not considered bread. I was like, this is crazy.
So Subway's going to get rid of that?
No, I don't think they can. I don't think they can change their bread formula to get below the 2%. Like, that's what makes their bread so enticing, is that it's so sugar rich. And what I found funny is this is not the first time their bread has been in the news. That's why I found it hilarious.
Really?
So the last time the bread was in the news was about 5 or 6 years ago. Now, did you hear about this story? This other story?
No.
Did you ever hear about it back 5, 6 years ago? There was a problem with Subway bread? So apparently...
No, I just heard about their spokesperson guy that was doing some bad things to some young people, and that sucks. And
yeah, he's a creeper for sure.
Yeah.
So give me a second. I wanted to get that off the screen. So apparently, 5 or 6 years ago, somebody took Subway to court, and somehow they come to find out that the filler that they were using in the bread. So you and I know how to make bread, right? You've made bread once or twice, right? So
sure.
For people at home that haven't made
I had a bread machine once.
Yeah, I still do. So we'll talk about QVC and bread machines in the future. My mom, QVC, and bread machines. Tune in for the future show because it's a huge story. We're not going to cover it now. So normal bread, flour, water, salt, and yeast and oil.
Yeast, yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, there's nothing much more. Well, in order to get more bread, Subway was putting yoga mat and shoe material as their filler. It's a chemical used in yoga mats and in shoes, in rubber shoes. That was their filler.
That's really gross.
Yeah, it was
gross.
Yeah, that was how they were making their bread, and they did that for a long time until they got caught. It wasn't like, oh, we should probably not try to poison people with yoga mat and rubber shoe. It wasn't until somebody caught them that they actually stopped doing it. So I was like, ugh. I've never been a fan of Subway. This was way before the stories, though. And this is, I call it your tacos. You're probably like, what do you mean, your tacos? Tell me how many good tacos you've had where you live. It's a trick question, by the way.
Where I live right now?
Yes. Tell me how many good tacos you've had recently.
If you want me, like if I made them or somewhere else?
No. You went someplace.
I can't make them?
You're not allowed to make them. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm talking about
just one place. Just one. So,
oh, you have a place.
Bought at a place?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a place.
Okay. But you have a place. not like
I have
3
a
or
place.
4 or 5, right?
Mm,
And
no,
it's not like
'cause-
that's your favorite of 5. It's just the one place. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one place that I go.
Right. Right. No,
Yeah.
the reason I'm bringing that up is you're originally from Southern California, and everyone
Uh-huh.
around here is taco crazy. Like, you should just change
100%.
Southern California to Taco Land. It'd be easier.
Yes.
There's tacos everywhere. Every corner, every place, every bodega.
Yes.
You go anywhere.
I love tacos. Yeah.
Everywhere. Everywhere. And they're good.
Yeah.
They're not crap.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Philly, and I can tell you that they have the best hoagies, cheesesteaks, and strombolis. Period. I will put money on the fact that Philly is going to win that competition. Now, here's the interesting
I get
thing.
it.
The key to all hoagies and cheesesteaks is the roll. You have a crappy roll, you're going to have a crappy
Yep.
sandwich. It's just the way it is.
Right.
So
Yes.
when people are like, hey, let's go to Subway, I'm like, it's a losing proposition. You're going to get a bad sandwich because the bread sucks. And this was before
Right.
the story about the yoga mat and the shoe material. Once I found that out, I was like, no brainer, of course. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
No wonder it sucks. They were putting yoga mat in a bread. By the way, disclaimer, we're not getting paid by Subway.
No.
And supposedly they stopped doing that. So
No.
supposedly. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Let's just hope they have.
Cross my
You know,
fingers.
some money, like out of the 27 people that's going to watch this show, one of them will
Yes.
have a Subway sandwich. And they'll be like, oh,
They're-
cool.
Well,
Oh.
you know, the worst part is somebody is watching this show right now eating a Subway sandwich, and they
Yeah.
just heard that story. Could you imagine, like, you're on your, like, almost your last bite, and we tell you what's
Yeah.
in the sandwich? By the way, you're eating. Sorry, some nasty stuff just popped in my head. I'm not going to say it. Oof. So, TikTok course. Tell me more.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second.
They're, yeah. When you get it up, the headline speaks for it all. And it's take a crash course in TikTok marketing for $30.
That's genius. Why the hell didn't we think of that?
Right. I know.
Now I feel stupid.
Hey, here's what not to do. And we just say everything that we're doing. Yeah, that's it.
Go to my TikTok. Don't do that.
Right. Every single one of them. Just don't do it. But the
don't do
one
that.
with the random video that's not my family or anything, put a
No.
whole bunch of that up. You're good.
Put
Yeah.
more of that up.
Yeah, it's more of that. Less of yourself. More
No,
of
yeah, just don't
things
show
that you just took offline. Yeah.
Yeah, just steal stuff. You'll do great. No, TikTok,
But it's going to actually tell you how to get viral in this $30 course.
I'm half tempted
And what
to
to
say
do.
we need to spend the money. We need to spend the money and buy that
Yeah.
and take it like seriously. Like do a whole bunch of TikToks all serious. Like I've taken them. You know what? They have to give you a certificate. Like if you don't get a certificate, I don't think it's worth it. And the reason I say that is because that would be the best part of the TikTok.
Here's the graduating class of 2020.
Exactly. You're a little bit younger than me, but I'm sure that you've seen these ads. Back when I was a kid and I used to watch like all of the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah.
They would always, because it was daytime TV, they would always have Lincoln Tech, and there was a couple other Technical Institute ads.
DeVry.
Yes. They are the best ads ever because unfortunately, whoever, they're real actual graduates, and you can
Right.
tell they really don't know how to read that well. And they should have prepared these people better because every single time, and okay, take a step back. I feel bad for the guys that did the production because I can only imagine they did not get it in the first take. I can only imagine
Right.
like
Yeah, no.
take 73, DeVry, tech number 7, go.
You can get a degree in Indian culture. You can get a degree in
Yes.
in law, not
the
just
thing
any law.
Yeah, the thing that got
Yeah.
me was that the dude was telling you what he did, but the way he said it, you're like, did you graduate or not? I graduated from DeVry with a skill in a thing, and I do it. Make money, lots. You should go.
I carpentry, so I lay down
Exactly.
carpets.
But you see, what's funny is they do offer that for a side note for anybody that needs a
Yes.
carpet skill. No, most of them during the 80s and 90s, everything was computers. Everything was computers. You can learn everything about a computer.
Yeah.
What's funny is I worked for a computer company, and every single person that worked there was teaching themselves by going online and finding it online.
Of course.
Like I literally
Yeah.
went over and I was like, "Hey, is there a course I could take?" Because I was old school, and these guys were like 10 years at least younger than me. So I'd be like, "Yeah, I want to learn how to do whatever you're doing. Like, do I go take a class in school?" And they'd all look at me like, "No. You just go to this website and you just hack your way through it until you figure it out. And then you go to this website and you hack your way through it until you figure it out." And that's when my brain went, "That's all they did?" But they did make
Right.
it sound easy. It was not easy. If you've ever done any programming, not easy. But
A
30
little
bucks.
bit. No, well,
We're going to
yeah.
do some crash
30
course in
bucks.
TikTok marketing. I love this. I so want to take this class now. I so want to take it. So want to take it.
Yeah, you.
Oh.
And then I don't know. They're probably going to say you need to stick with one theme and just push your one theme.
Well,
that's it.
Oh my God, wasn't that a long show? Please like and subscribe, and for those of you listening on the podcast, thank you. Until next time, this has been another episode of the TP Show.
I think we're recording. I think. I hope.
You think?
Yeah. I pressed the button to be recording. Whether it